everybody, this is Allie. Welcome back to my channel Color Mama 360. It's time for another video. So good morning, good night, good middle of the night, depending on when you're watching. Today's video is my quarter 2 wrap up. So I'm going to be looking back on April, May, and June. Yes, that's correct. And just kind of going over some of my favorite things and favorite pages and giving you an update on my project books. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So first up is my newest obsession, and I cheated a little bit with this one because I have 3 things that I'm currently loving. The first is these color palettes from Johanna Stone. I've really been loving these, not just obviously to help with color choices, but I also kind of enjoyed putting them together the way that I did. So I printed them all out, cut them, laminated them, cut them again, and then put them on these little rings so that you can easily flip through them. And then along those same notes, you've heard me talk about these as well. These are swatch deck cards from Lucy Fox Arts, and these are for Polychromos and Prismacolor. There's actually 2 sets here. I just have them together. And if you know from my other videos, I'm not much of a swatching person, at least like in this sort of format, but I am loving these, and I found myself using them way more than anything else I've tried in the past. And then finally, along those same lines, is PDFs I've really been loving recently. So I think overall, if you can't tell, what I'm loving is my laminator. So this is The Way Home by Morgan O'Brien. So I just laminated the front cover, and then the rest of the pages are just together with rings. And this is working really well for me. I know that there's a few different ways you can do it, and different people have different preferences, but I like the way that I have it right now. So I'm going to be leaving it that way for right now. But it's allowed me to get into PDFs more as well, because I think they're just out on my shelf. I'm seeing them more, things like that. So I'm excited to keep coloring in those. So I would say those are my newest obsessions. And like I said, the thing that all 3 of these have in common is they're laminated. So I must be really enjoying my laminator. All right. And then I have Unfinished with the Best Intentions. So that's just a book that I have been coloring in. I started a whip in it, and it's unfinished, but I'm really planning on finishing it at some point. It's this double page spread in Mythomorphia. I started this on a live stream after doing a video earlier that week about pages I'm intimidated by, and this was one of them. So I haven't really made a ton of progress on it. I did all of the stonework, I think, on this page on the live stream, and then I started doing it, as you can see over here, on my own. At some point, there's going to be more basing that I think is going to need to happen so that I can, hopefully, that will help me tell what is what. Part of the reason I didn't base the stonework is because the gray was so light anyways. I truly didn't feel like it was making that big of a difference. So yeah, I think once I've finished the stonework, then I'm going to come in and base some of the other stuff just to help differentiate what is what. Now, I was really hoping to have this done by the end of summer, but we are now in July. I have a lot of plans for July, so I don't know. I still have 2 months, but I'm really only coming to this when I just feel like it. And I have a lot of other plans that I also want to get done before the end of summer. So we'll see what happens. But this one is unfinished with the best intentions because I do intend on finishing it at some point. I'm really, really hoping that that ends up being this summer. Okay, now a couple that don't have something to show you, or just one. So my favorite video to film was actually the video that came out on Monday, the coloring passport tag. That one was so fun. It was an idea that I had kind of been thinking up, like I said in that video, just because normally we go on vacation during the summertime and we're not this year. And so I thought I really wanted to do a like pack with me type video if we went on vacation. And since we weren't, I pivoted and tried to figure out how I could make that video in some other sort of way. And so that's how I came up with the coloring passport tag. Um, and then I think there's another one going around as well that I haven't done, but it's like called Pack Your Suitcase, I think. And I think that one is a little bit of a different take, but both are kind of travel themed. So, anyways, my favorite to film this quarter was the coloring passport tag, the one that just came out. And even though that technically came out in quarter 3, I filmed it in quarter 2. So that's why it was my favorite to film. Okay, favorite book received. I think this will come of no surprise, but it is the mythographic Alice in Wonderland. If you don't know the whole story behind this, go check out the flip through or the podcast or really any other of my content. I'm sure I've mentioned it. But yeah, I just think this is a really stunning book and I'm excited. I haven't started the page that I have planned this month, but I'm excited to color in a mythographic because I think that if this would have been my first mythographic I ever got, I probably would have gotten a lot more. So maybe it's a good thing it wasn't, but I haven't ever completed a mythographic page. So I have a whip in Wild Summer that I just have really struggled to come back to. And I'm really hoping that this will get me into more mythographic pages. So this was my favorite book that I received this quarter. The next question is favorite page colored. Now, I tried really hard to narrow this down to just one, but I could not. So I have two, and both are actually from my most recent completed pages video. When I was looking back through all, because I always have pictures of my completed pages to do the rankings at the end of my completed pages video. So when I was looking back at April's, May's, and June's, there weren't a whole lot of pages that I loved in April and May. I mean, I obviously had a favorite from that month, but there were a lot of pages that I loved in June, and so that's why both of the my favorite pages from the whole quarter ended up being from June. So the first one is this flamingo double page spread. I just really love the color palette of this one. It was really fun to color. I based it with Tombow dual brush pens, which I really enjoy working with on this paper, and then I did Prismacolors over the top, which I also really enjoy on this paper. So I'm definitely noticing I'm starting to have more of a preference for different mediums on different papers, which I mean, everybody does, but I think mine is, I'm starting to understand more like what I like on what types of papers. So yeah, so this was the first one out of two. And then the other one, also, like I said, from June, was a buddy color in the Magical Land of Lara Mia by Aerie, and it was this one. And I had a lot of fun doing this one as well. Both of these pages I really enjoyed, not only the final product, but the process. This one was Albrecht Dürer, um, and then polychromos over the top, and I used a colorless blending marker, alcohol marker, to blend the polychromos. So, and I think that that worked really well. So yeah, I really love this one as well. Those are my two favorite pages from this quarter. Okay, a couple of stats before we get into project books. So the total number of pages that I completed during quarter 2 was 50, just an even 50. I was really surprised by that, not just the amount or anything, but it just the fact it was an even 50 pages. The total number of books I colored in was 34, and the total number of untouched books out of that 34 was 8. So, not a ton of untouched books, but I think when you factor in like books you're trying to complete and project books and things like that, obviously those aren't going to be untouched. So, those contribute to that as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about untouched books when I get to quarter 3 goals. But let's do some project book updates. So, if you remember, my project books for the first half of the year, so quarter 1 and quarter 2, were Summer Nights and Wondrous Folk. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera. Those have now changed, but let's take a look back on the pages that I completed. I did not mark them all, so we're just going to be looking through together. Did I get the right book? Yeah, okay. Um, so this is my most recent one that I completed. I'm pretty sure there's one before this, so I might have to go back. But yeah, I loved the way that this one turned out as well. So this one was the one that was completed in June. This one was the one that was completed in May. This one, I can't remember what month this one was completed in, but I really like the way that this one turned out as well. All the green. This one was a buddy color. I think I did this one in February because I remember working on this one during the tubathon. Big difference I feel like between the skin on this one and the skin on this one. I think the skin really improved on this one. And I'm pretty sure I did color the Jewel Thief afterwards. This one actually was before it was a project book, I believe, but this was also a buddy color. If you want more details about any of these pages, you'd have to go watch the completed pages video. I'm just trying to go through quickly. This one was also before it was a project book, and you can really see the difference in skin. So this was probably my first time ever coloring grayscale skin. And then I will show you, we can jump back over to that June page. This is my most recent. So I'm really proud with the progress that I've made with skin, because that was a focus that I really wanted to have for the first half of the year. So I'm really happy with the improvement that I've made. And then there's one missing. Like I said, I know exactly what page it is. I just don't know where it's at, but I can picture it in my mind. This one. Um, and this one, probably not my favorite. Also had some issues with things getting on the paper, but that's okay. So yeah, those are all the pages that I've completed so far in Wondrous Folk by Christine Caron. That has been a fun project book over the last 6 months. And then Summer Nights was my other project book. So I did do the title page 1 month, kind of a little bit of a break. This one I think I did before it was a project book, but then this one I did after it became a project book. I want to say this one was maybe in February or March or something like that. I could look in the back of the book and give you exact dates, but we're just going to go through quickly. This double page spread was for 2 months, so May and June. So there will be less in this book because of that. But yeah, I really like the way that this double page spread turned out. I think I would color it a lot differently if I did it again. Not that I don't like this, but it would just be fun to do a whole different color palette. And then I did this one. I want to say this one was definitely during second quarter because I just saw this when I was looking through all of my completed pages. But yeah, I really like the way that this one turned out as well. And then I believe there should be one more. This one. And this is probably my least favorite. I tried to use distress ink on this page and it just did not turn out very well. It was really hard to mask around these little areas. And so when I took it off, yeah, it was just a whole thing. So I don't love this one, but that's okay. And those are all my completed pages that I did from Summer Nights. So again, doesn't mean I'm never going to color in this book. Even just looking through it now, I see a lot of pages that I'm still excited to color at some point. But we have switched project books. So the books I'm going to be focusing on for the second half of the year are Circle of Life by Makamani Hatsupanagatu and Leon's Journey by Kanoko Igusa. So I'm excited to get started in those. Okay, let's talk about books I'm trying to complete. So we're first going to start with a group project book, which is Capybara Cuties. Now, I don't anticipate completing this year. I'm also not going to show you all the pages because there's a lot and I just don't think we need to. You can see them in my completed pages video. But I will say there are 49 pages total. I have completed 15, which should be a little bit behind the group because I started later and I haven't done all the catch up pages yet. So still 34 to go. And I do have a lot of whips in this book because, like I said, I am still doing the catch up pages. And sometimes if I'm just feeling like working with alcohol markers, I'll come in and just base a page in this book because I know eventually I'm going to get to it. So that is Capybara Cuties. And then I have a book that I'm trying to complete by October, which is Matchstick Mouse, a Pumpkin Party coloring book. And I only have 5 pages left in this book. There's 16 total. I didn't count the title page. So if I wanted to come in and do that real quickly, and I'll just quickly go through them. So this page, this page, this page. I'm just going to go pretty quick. Like I said, you can see these pages in my completed pages videos. So still need to do that one, as well as, of course, once it's done, I'll do a more in-depth look through. This one's based. I need to come in and do the pencil. So I think that's what I was planning on doing this month. You can see some of them I did a while ago. Like this one was definitely done a while ago. I color Matchstick Mouse differently now. This one still needs to be done. And that's it. So that's Matchstick Mouse, a Pumpkin Party coloring book. Now, my other book that I'm trying to complete by the end of the year is the Princess Kawaii Mega Pact. Those are PDFs. I'm not going to get those out, but I'll just give you an update. So there are 14 total, and I have 7 left. So not great. I still have half the book, essentially, that I need to complete. So yeah, it'll be okay, but I do definitely need to pick up the pace on that one. All right, another update is my 26 books for 2026 list. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I chose, like myself, I didn't do it randomly. I just chose myself 26 books I would like to color in / pages I would like to color, 26 total, to color this year. And how I was kind of figuring out which of those to color when for the first part of the year was I was randomly drawing them in my plans videos. But now we're starting to get down to some of the more seasonal pages. So I'm just going to be allocating pages from that list to color for certain months. I'm not going to be choosing them randomly for the rest of the year just because we are getting down to the more seasonal pages and I don't feel like coloring a Christmas page at this time of year. So I have 13 left of those, which is pretty good. I mean, they're all pages that I wanted to color this year that I was hoping to get to anyways, so it's just a matter of sitting down and coloring them. Number of works in progress. So I am not keeping track of how many works in progress I have anymore. I will talk more about that probably in a podcast episode at some point, but I have no idea because I'm not keeping track. Okay, let's look at some of my goals update. So some of my goals for second quarter were complete. I think it was 1 whip a month. Yeah, from my master list, which like I said, I'm not keeping track anymore, so that's not up to date. I also don't think I just did that in general. Color in 5 untouched books. I did do that, I believe. 2 Princess Kawaii pages at least one of the 3 months. I did do that. There was a month I did 2. 1 video for a week. I did that. 16 videos total. I'm not sure, but probably I'm pretty sure I did way more than 16 videos. And then 1 series of videos, which I did do the book battle. I think I also may have done another series as well. So I did okay. Again, I'm really leaning into something that I think everybody else is doing as well, which is just making coloring a hobby again and not feeling like there's certain criteria to meet or things like that. And so as you can see down here, instead of having goals, I'm just going to have focus areas. And I've talked a lot about the first one. So from July to September, so this is going into my Q3 goals, or as I'm calling them, focus areas. I want to work on improving fur, which is a huge reason why I'm excited to have Leon's Journey as a project book because that will be great. I want to focus on coloring in my untouched books. I'm not going to set a certain amount or anything like that, but I do have quite a few untouched books planned for July. And then I want to also just focus on making spontaneous choices. So if there's something I feel like coloring, I'm going to just pick it up and color it. If there's something I don't feel like coloring, even if it was in my plans, I'm not going to worry about it. So just really leaning into kind of that spontaneity that comes with the hobby. So those are my quarter 3 focus points. And again, quarter 3 will run from July to September. So I'm excited to see what I complete over the next few months. A couple other things that are coming up. At some point, there will be my summer haul. So I do my haul seasonally. So that will be quite a big haul. Uh, that will be coming probably sometime in August. And then, if you aren't aware, right now in July, I am doing Milestone Month to celebrate 1 year on YouTube and reaching over 1,000 subscribers a couple months ago. And so I'm doing some fun sort of different content. I'll be doing a Q&A on the podcast. I'll be doing kind of a reflections video. So I have some fun stuff coming up. And if you have not submitted any questions yet for the Q&A episode, please, 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 please go do that. I believe that there is a link on the Milestone Month announcement on my YouTube page, as well as possibly over on Instagram, or you can always just send them to me. That works too. All right, everybody. Well, that is my second quarter wrap up. I hope you enjoyed taking a look back on what has been going on over the past few months. I will see you next time. Happy coloring, everybody.